But hold up, this vibrant nation has a history, my friends, and it ain't all sunshine and festivals. There's a rich tapestry of stories waiting to be told. Let's rewind to the beginning, shall we? From its colonial past to its journey to independence, Guyana's history is as colorful as its present. So, picture this. It's the 16th century, and the Europeans are playing a global game of finders keepers. The New World is the ultimate prize, and everyone wants a piece of the action. The Spanish, Portuguese, French, and English are all scrambling to claim territories, but it's the Dutch who set their sights on a small, lush region on the northern coast of South America. The Dutch, always down for a good trading post, rocked up in Guyana first. They saw the potential in this fertile land with its rivers and rich soil, perfect for agriculture and trade. They established trading posts and small settlements, eager to tap into the resources of this new territory. They were like, "Sweet, this place has potential. Let's grow some sugarcane." Sugar was the gold of the Caribbean, and the Dutch knew it. They started cultivating sugarcane, setting up plantations that would become the backbone of their colonial economy in Guyana. But the Dutch weren't exactly known for their chill vibes. They were all about efficiency and profit, and they ran their colonies with an iron fist. The overseers were strict and the work was grueling. They were more like, work, work, work. To maximize their profits, they brought in enslaved Africans to toil on their sugar plantations. These enslaved people were forced to work under brutal conditions with little regard for their well-being. So, they brought in enslaved Africans to toil on their sugar plantations. The labor was backbreaking and the conditions were harsh. The enslaved Africans endured unimaginable hardships, all to fuel the Dutch sugar trade. Not cool, Dutchies, not cool. The legacy of this exploitation is a dark stain on history, and it's important to remember the human cost of these colonial ventures. Fast forward to the 19th century, and the British, those masters of empire building, decided they wanted a piece of the sugar pie too. The British Empire was expanding, and they saw an opportunity to take over the profitable sugar plantations in Guyana. They swooped in like, "Thanks for warming up the place, guys, we'll take it from here." The British took control, and Guyana became British Guyana, adding another jewel to the British colonial crown. And just like that, Guyana became British Guyana. The British continued to develop the sugar industry, building infrastructure and expanding the plantations. The British weren't much better than the Dutch when it came to forced labor. They maintained the same harsh system, exploiting the labor of enslaved Africans to keep the sugar flowing. They continued the system of slavery, exploiting Africans for their profit. The conditions remained brutal, and the enslaved people continued to suffer under British rule. It's a dark chapter in Guyana's history, but one that needs to be remembered. The resilience and strength of those who endured such hardships are a testament to the human spirit, and their stories must not be forgotten. Sugar, the sweet temptress, fueled Guyana's economy for centuries, but it came at a bitter cost. With the abolition of slavery in 1834, plantation owners needed a new workforce. Their solution? Indentured laborers from India. Now, indentureship wasn't slavery, but it wasn't exactly a walk in the park either. Indians were promised a better life, only to find themselves working long hours in harsh conditions. It was basically a raw deal, but many had no choice but to endure. This influx of Africans and Indians dramatically changed Guyana's demographics. It created a vibrant mix of cultures, but also, let's be real, some tensions too. Different ethnic groups competing for resources and power. It's a recipe for, shall we say, cultural misunderstandings. Section 4. Freedom, finally. But the struggle continues. The 20th century brought winds of change, literally and figuratively. The world was evolving at a rapid pace, and Guyana was no exception. The early 1900s saw significant transformations in the landscape and the social fabric of the country. The world was changing, and so was Guyana. The bustling streets of Georgetown in the 1950s were a testament to the dynamic shifts taking place. The people were becoming more aware of their rights and the possibilities of self-governance. The fight for independence gained momentum, fueled by labor movements and nationalist sentiments. Workers and activists rallied together, demanding better conditions and the right to govern themselves. People were tired of being ruled by folks across the ocean who probably couldn't point to Guyana on a map. The disconnect between the rulers and the ruled was glaringly obvious, and the desire for autonomy grew stronger. They wanted self-determination, a chance to chart their own destiny. leaders emerged, inspiring the masses with visions of a free and prosperous Guyana. And who could blame them? The conversations in homes and community gatherings were filled with hope and determination. It's like having your parents tell you what to do when you're 40 years old. The frustration was palpable, and the need for change was undeniable. Not cool, Britain, not cool. The colonial rule had overstayed its welcome, and the people of Guyana were ready to take the reins. After decades of struggle, Guyana finally achieved independence in 1966. The streets were filled with joy and the air was thick with the promise of a new beginning. It was a moment of jubilation, a time to celebrate their hard-won freedom. Flags waved, people danced, and the sense of accomplishment was overwhelming. But like any good party, the hangover was inevitable. The challenges of building a new nation were just beginning, and the struggle for a better future continued. Section 5 Independence Day, Guyana goes solo. So Guyana's a free agent now, ready to take on the world. But independence, much like adulting, comes with its own set of challenges. There were economic hurdles to overcome, social divisions to bridge, and a whole new system of government to figure out. It was like being thrown into the deep end of the pool without floaties. There were some missteps, some growing pains, and yes, some political drama. It wouldn't be a true democracy without a little bit of that, right? But through it all, the Guyanese people persevered. They built a nation, brick by brick, with their own two hands. They established schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, proving that they were more than capable of governing themselves. So they say, and the Guyanese people have character in spades. They never gave up hope, never stopped striving for a better future. Section 7 Guyana today, a work in progress, but hey, who isn't? Fast forward to today, and Guyana is a nation transformed, brimming with potential. They've embraced democracy, diversified their economy, and are making strides in development. They've even discovered oil. Talk about a plot twist. Now, they're not without their challenges, of course. Climate change is a major threat, and there's still work to be done on social justice and economic equality. But the future is looking bright for Guyana, with new opportunities on the horizon. They're a nation with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a resilient spirit. They've overcome colonialism, slavery, indentureship, and political turmoil. If that doesn't make you want to raise a glass of rum and say, "Cheers to Guyana," I don't know what will. Here's to a bright future.